Welcome to the Rise to Thrive podcast with Matt
and Brooke,
where we embrace what it means to be human and explore how to become the most expansive versions of ourselves through vitality, connection, and play.
Expect honest conversations, transformative stories, and playful shenanigans as we unpack what it means to claim a life of your own creation.
Ready? Let's rise. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Rise to Thrive podcast. We're your hosts, Matt.
I'm Brooke.
And today on our show, we have a new incredible friend and guest. Our guest today is a community song leader, musician, performance artist, and workshop facilitator with a background in environmental education and cycle health. She is deeply passionate about collective expression using song, dance, theatrical antics, and creative play to curate spaces that are safe, informative, and joy-filled for all ages. When she's not facilitating, she can be found crafting with fiber arts, practicing puppetry, learning street dance, writing poetry, experimenting with sound, and balancing on slacklines. Ash Shield, welcome to the Rise to Thrive podcast.
Thank y'all so much. Pleasure to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
I mean, what do you not do?
Yeah, no, we're reading the notes coming in, and it's like, holy smokes.
So
We got a lot of free time.
That's great. Well, yeah, we met, and the way that we met you was just fantastic. So we met Ash at a festival gathering called the Conscious Growth Convergence outside of Eugene, Oregon, last year in the fall. And we happened to find her over by the pirate ship bus late night that was bumping some bass music. And we were having our own little party at the pirate ship stage, the unofficial pirate ship stage. And it was just like a whole improvisation experience of theater and yes-anding and just dropping into this whole portal of, I think you were wearing like your little Shrek ears, and I don't know, that was like a whole topic.
Ogre ears, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so sweet. I recall that moment because, well, first of all, the dude was slanging burgers or something tasty. So my nose brought me over there, and then my ears brought me over there because I heard bass. And, this festival was not centered around bass at all. And so my bass heart was called over there. And of course, it was just the two of you vibing. And I was like, okay, those are my people immediately. And of course, in interacting with y'all, it was so organic and playful, and I just knew from that moment that y'all were the real ones.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, we felt the same way when it came to you. We dropped into that sweet little short portal, and you were off on an adventure to find your friends, and we were both like, that was a super dope interaction.
Yeah.
We have such a high bar, I have to say, for the types of people we like to hang with. It's like we love going end to end on the spectrum of human being, everything from play and weirdness and improv to like the deep depths. And we immediately felt that with you. And, we kept running into each other through the duration of the festival and have stayed in touch here and there since. And there's just so much resonance. So naturally we were like, we got to get Ash on the podcast.
Yeah, and you're just like so many different flavors of you. Because then the next day you're like in a totally different vibe. I'm like, wait, I had to take like a second look, like, okay, yeah, cool. Like,
yeah, because the night we met you, I think you were like in full like black on black, like kind of goth vibes.
Right.
And yeah, you're so bright in your personality. And the next day you're wearing flowers and so colorful and
multifaceted,
it just shows the full spectrum. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Well, thanks for seeing me, y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone. Just wanted to jump on here quick and give you guys some love and shout you out. We've been doing this podcast for now 2 months. It's wild to think. And we've been having a lot of fun doing it.
So if you are having fun on this journey with us, make sure to like the episodes and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then give us a follow on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as a 5-star rating.
And if there is a notification bell, make sure to hit that so you don't miss an episode.
All right, back to the show.
See you in there. Our listeners know a big pillar of Rise to Thrive is play and, along with vitality and connection. And, after getting to know you a little bit more, it appears that you are pretty big in the play space, big in the song and using song, and you do these rap workshops and poetry and things. And I'd love to hear a little bit about your background. Maybe start with your childhood, like what your relationship was with play and things and how it led you into this space of facilitation.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. Okay, imagine it. You're in the car with your mom. Cher comes on, and your daughter starts singing Cher, and then the next song comes on, and it's Ricky Martin, and she starts singing Ricky Martin. That's kind of where it all started, or at least from what I can recollect. My mom would tell me that I would sing along to the songs in the car, and I always had headphones in as a teenager and was exploring music on YouTube during that era, trying to find the new hits, and really felt this connection to music. I felt like I was a good listener of music, and I didn't really know what that meant at the time. I think maybe it comes down to having a draw towards multi-genre music, towards this kind of wide range of music. And so as a kid, I would spend a lot of time outside, and I remember being in the front yard in the grass, coming up with little diddles, kind of like, if y'all remember Rob Dyrdek and
Yeah.
his Fantasy Factory. Yeah, and he would always,
that show.
yeah, did you? He would always have these little boop bops, like one-liner melody kind of songs that he would do. And so I would do that in the front yard often. And yeah, as I grew up, I would collect instruments that I didn't know how to play. I just knew that I felt called to them. I would find myself dating people who were musicians, and realized later that that would be considered the golden shadow. So wanting to be with someone or kind of idolizing someone who you yourself are or want to be. And so that came to me later in life. And then eventually I found myself in Arizona and found myself at this event, this concert, where there were these two dudes on stage going crazy with the didgeridoo, with rapping, beatboxing. And I was like, who are these guys? It seemed like no one in the crowd was going as wild as I felt like I wanted to be. So I go down there and I'm like, yeah, these guys. So I start following them on Instagram, and then there's a forest party happening in town. So I hit them up for a ride, and one of the dudes who was performing, Cooper, picked me up, and we went to this forest party. So him and I started connecting. And from that, at this point, I'm, in my early 20s, they would invite me to these jam sessions. And it was my one and only goal in life was to be able to jam. What I forgot to mention was that I did do a couple of years of viola lessons or orchestra in school. But the reading music thing at a certain point felt too difficult, too challenging, that I was like, no, not for me. This is homework. I don't want to do homework. This is not what music should be. So anyway, fast forward, now I'm in my early 20s, hanging out with Cooper, and Stefan was the other person in this group, the Silisapiens. And I would be at these kind of house shows or community gatherings, and they would hand me an egg shaker. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be a part of the jam. Come to find out, a shaker is actually kind of hard to keep rhythm with. But anyway, I had the instrument in hand. I was a part of the jam. And in those moments, it was like, oh my God, I've made it. I belong. That sense of belonging was really felt. And so over time, then Cooper and I would hang out at the hot springs, and it was nighttime and it was dark, and he would start singing a little something, and I'm like, oh, okay. if he's singing and no one can see me because it's dark right now, like maybe I can start singing. And we would start singing songs that we knew together. And that was kind of the first time that I ever sung around someone else or in front of someone else. And of course, like if you know Cooper, he's so safe, so silly, so playful that he just allows that permission to be granted. So yeah, Cooper and Stefan over time kind of allowed me to open up my little musical heart in this really safe container. Eventually I started dating Stefan, and so he was the one who kind of taught me all things producing, music-wise. Before we started dating, I was doing a lot of writing, poetry, and trying to get myself to open mics. And so there are always these little dabbles of music here, or let me buy this instrument, or, who I know or who I'm dating, or, you know, yeah, little bits here and there, but never a full on, I'm going to claim this.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until I started dating Stefan and, he's making music dang near every day, he would encourage me to try it out. Hey, this is how you use Logic, which is a DAW, a recording platform on Mac. Hey, let's get you on the mic, even though I'd be sweating down my whole body,
Entire body.
yeah, at the thought of that, because I didn't grow up singing proper. I didn't really know. It was just a totally self-taught thing. But it really makes a difference when you are given a space that is safe. And so anyway, time goes on. In that relationship with Stefan, we just went in on music. That was a large pillar of our relationship. And so these poems that I had written from years past, we turned into song. And, I applied to High Vibe Music Festival's song contest. And they had to be songs that were unreleased and not quite finished. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to do that. And it turns out I won, which was crazy.
What?
So these little bits of resonance and synchronicity and right time, right place, and the people that supported me ultimately allowed me to become the musician that I am today. So really, I have my community to thank. So, yeah.
So rad.
Wow. That's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. Super cool. That's so dope that you had encountered so many people that were so supportive. Like the safety is such a huge thing for anything, I know
Absolutely.
on the journey of stepping into our gifts, it's like we want to be seen in these ways, but we're like, how do I do it? What's my special unique gift? How do I bring it to the world? How do I impact people and be of service in these ways, and to have little guides and mentors along the way that invite us to step further into ourselves is really
Exactly.
such a gift.
Yeah, and then to
no
be able
kidding.
to become the facilitator. So now it seems like just from seeing your little videos and putting on these workshops, I'm like, dude, I want to experience the magic of Ash and what you get to
Oh.
share. So yeah, what is that like? And how long have you been doing that? And what's the intention there? What do the people experience from being dropped into your space?
To
Thanks
answer
for
all 5 of
asking.
my questions at once.
Yeah. Just
I
paint
guess
me a
I'll
nice picture, please. Totally.
So
Hey, real quick, if you guys didn't know, the 3 pillars of Rise to Thrive are vitality, connection, and play. If you want to squeeze more juice out of life, then join our free community on School.
This is about reclaiming your vitality, feeling more connected, and honestly, bringing more energy and play back into your life. And it's also where we'll be the most active. Real-time conversations, updates, all of it.
So if you're ready to go deeper and stay connected with us in real time, hit the link in the show notes and join the tribe inside.
So ironically, the same year that I started performing on a stage was the same year that I got a job as an environmental educator. So I was having to step into this role of speaking in front of an audience and speaking in front of a classroom. And both forced me to be at that edgy growth point of, okay, I have to speak with confidence. I have to use my words articulately. I have to get my message across. whether it was to kindergartners or whether it was to adults. And so I started this journey in environmental education and then started doing the whole open mic thing. And don't get me wrong, I was terrified every time I had to do either, whether I was in a classroom with sixth graders. Sixth graders are kind of scary because,
Yeah.
they're going through their own thing. Sweating down my arms, always. So I would be in that setting, and then I would be in the setting of being on stage. And I remember the first time I performed to the public, music-wise. It was my friend Estefania. She was leading this, or offering this, it's called It Is Fair. So it's kind of like a market where it's free for you to offer your goods as an artisan. And so it was at this It Is Fair event inside at what was called Liminal Cafe here in Flagstaff. And it was a community space. Anyway, safe setting. I know a majority of the people there.
Yeah.
Sweating down my arms and trembling in my voice. So let me tie in slacklining. It seems random, but I was slacklining a lot at the time too. But there's a lot of relevance there where when you're on a slackline, it requires you to hone in on your breath, to focus on just that moment, presently, what's happening in the body, slow down, relax, just be there. And so I would try and take those elements of slacklining and highlining to that moment of being on stage with the mic in my hand. Maybe I would get barefoot and I would just like ground down. I would kind of get in almost to like a squat position. And oftentimes before I would start singing or performing, I'd go, I knew that I needed a breath, but I would ask the audience, do you guys want to take a breath together? Because in giving permission to them, then it's giving permission to me. And surely we could all use an intentional breath.
Yep.
And so that was kind of part of the whole slacklining coming in, performing coming in. Let's take a collective breath, y'all. I have a video on my Instagram of me doing it. And it's almost like I'm demanding it. It's because I'm just so nervous. Can we take a breath? So anyway, so I would start to do that before each performance too, because Lord knows that's what I needed. So over time, like slacklining, like performing, like teaching the program, you just start to get a little bit more comfortable, Oh, okay, I've been in this position before. I can do this. That's not to say that it's not scary every time. I mean, I get on a high line and I'm still scared, and it's been years. Excuse me. And so I would say about maybe the 10th time, it was like, oh, okay. I actually feel grounded in my body. I feel confident that I can do this because I've proven to myself that I can. And so, when it came to the high vibe contest and being able to perform on main stage festival.
Wait, what year was that?
That was 2023? The one where it was up in the mountains in the greenery.
It wasn't in Grass Valley that year, was it?
Not that, the year after.
Got it. I was vending at the one in Grass Valley, so I was like, oh, maybe we were at the same place at the same time.
I wouldn't be surprised, but the year after. But I did go to that one with the friends, with the
you did?
Squad. Yeah, so we were there. So
nice.
maybe
All
we
right,
did a little cross path situation.
I'm sure we've been in multiple places at the same time. It was just
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you are an infinite being, so you probably are. Multiple spaces at once.
That's true. Anyway, continue on.
Yeah, so doing it over time, I'm on the stage at High Vibe, and I think it was that moment that it was like, okay, I feel good. I don't have this crazy heartbeat, this trembling in my voice, this need to regulate myself. I actually felt like, okay, I can do this. And maybe it's because there were maybe 20, 30 people in the crowd. So it was low stakes for me in some way, but also because at that point I had done it maybe 10 plus times. And so Fast forward then, I perform at June Jam, I'm performing at Highline gatherings, I'm just doing it more and more on river trips with friends. And really, it just takes doing the thing to do the thing. That's kind of been my line this year. And so this past year, these from May of last year until now, I kind of went on this whole journey. I left Flagstaff, did the whole van life thing, and really devoted a lot of my time to these song circle, singing circle, vocal improv spaces, a cappella, song, song, song at the center of it. And I had never really experienced this type of music before. My world was very much the hard beats with the lyrical bars and the bra bra and the hip hop vibe. This whole era was, like sacred and intentional and soft, but loud, in just a totally different way, a cappella, right? So not a lot of no produced music in the scene at all. Just this togetherness, this circle setting. And so I found myself in these spaces all throughout the year. And it was also a time where I was going through heavy grief. And so it gave me this kind of backbone and this pillar to hang on to. And I was just blown open to be in spaces where there's collective voice of 10 to 100 people is incredibly moving. And it inspired me to the point where when I came back to Flagstaff, which is where I am now, there's a whole story there, but came back to Flagstaff and I needed to just integrate all of that. And so coming back was another level of grief. And in that depthful place, I realized, okay, what do I want? What do I want to do? What makes me feel alive? And it was this song circle, singing circle, vocal improv like music. That's what makes me feel alive. That's what feels real to me. And so I thought, oh, I have this background as an educator, environmental ed. Oh, I also am so passionate about music. What happens if I merge them together? Right? And so I found this this woman, Lisa Littlebird, who works with all of these artists who I adore and am inspired by. And Lisa Littlebird has a website in which you can take a community song leader training. And so that's what I did from about March to April and got trained or certified through that program. And that's kind of given me a little bit more confidence and some more material to work with that I can deepen my approach to that work. I was facilitating in the fall thanks to an artist residency situation that I found myself in. So blessed in Santa Cruz. And so that gave me some experience to kind of dip my toe into what it would be like to facilitate Song Circle. To now, I'm like, okay, here's my offering with a little bit of background, credential, if you will. And that's more the song circle. The freestyle circles and the hip hop jams I've been doing for a couple of years now at various events. And that, thanks to Stefan, who I was dating, kind of just organically happened, coming up with our own ways of being able to facilitate that. We started doing that in the same space, and then it was easy to kind of branch off because it was already ingrained, I guess you could say. But the song circle and the singing thing is newer as far as my offerings go. So hopefully that gives you a little background.
Yeah, so it's like emerging. I mean, it feels like I feel
Yeah.
like you've just been embodied in that. Like that's just who you emanate. Like you emanate that. Just I wouldn't think that you would be new into that world. Like you just feel very confident and like you've been doing this your whole life, you know. And I'd love to
Thanks.
experience that. And is that what you are bringing to conscious growth potentially this year? Is that what you applied to facilitate us?
Yeah, so conscious growth is amazing in that there's so many song offerings. And a part of me is a little intimidated by that as far as me coming in and applying as another song person. There's people who dog. There's people who are offering song spaces there who have been doing it for years. And granted, I know that what I bring is also unique, but a part of me is like, maybe I'll add a little spice to it. So I actually applied to do the freestyle circle. So touching on the 5 elements of hip hop, and one of them being MCing or rapping, freestyle, off the dome type beat. So that's what I am applying for, and we'll see in the next couple of days. But that feels a little bit more edgy and perhaps unique to that space. So keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah, like looking for to bring a little more variety. Is that what you're saying? Is like there's a lot of song offerings. It's like this would be a unique thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Very cool.
I mean, that would be edgy for me. I think I've dropped into a couple random little like rap improv circles, and I'm like, it's an edge, like, but it's so fun. Like we're over here.
We did some in Joshua Tree.
Yeah,
right after we just met with
Gabriel,
Dark
Daddy,
aka Daddy of the Light.
Yeah,
Fun.
I feel like when I'm in being witnessed by others, I get like so choked up, and I'm like, oh, I like don't know how to talk. I'm like, how do words work right now? But we love being. I mean, I write poetry, and that is a natural at rapping.
We rap in the car all the time, and she'll just jump in. Like the right beat comes on, and it's just like start going, and then
that's
we'll
how it
be
starts.
going back and forth.
Yeah, it's fun. Like just putting on a beat, like in the car on long drives, and just like I'm like, this is a great way to pass the time and to be creative and to be present and in the flow. And so I'm sure a lot of people can relate to being in the car and that being a place where they feel safe to belt it out, to sing even if they're not on tune, and to just like be in that space. Like I love that that's how your journey began too, is in the car.
I mean, no one's looking at you, right? It's like everyone's kind of just looking straight. We're all looking in the same direction. So, it feels like less pressure or something.
Until the guy next to you looks over and you're just like inviting
in the car
him.
Next to you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love going hard and
that's
at the red light.
You're just getting it in the car and somebody next to you looks over and you're just like, and they just start laughing and smiling and getting it too.
Yeah.
I've had people pull me into that. Like I've caught other people going hard, and it's like it pulls you out of your autopilot, and it's just like, oh yeah, dope. Here's a little sparkle of joy and fun in your day, and it's great.
Yeah, is that what like these spaces do? I mean, because we met you in a space where everyone's giving each other permission, right? To just be our authentic self. So it seems like you've been drawn to kind of these gatherings and festivals and places where we can come. Like, what has that been like for you as far as like your ability to express and be yourself?
It feels childlike. I was just thinking as you guys were describing your experiences in the car and being pulled in and being seen. A kid doesn't care how they're seen necessarily. I mean, I guess up to a certain age. And they're so playful and they're wild and they're so expressive, and that's just so part of their nature. And that's something that I really value and want to devote myself to in these offerings and in these spaces that I hold, is that childlike safety, that childlike play, expressiveness, where hey, we're adults. Have we forgotten what it's like to go there? That feels really important to me. Often I've been leading tours as an environmental educator, and I give the exact same tour that I give the kids to adults. And it's so fascinating to me. I'll ask the adults the exact same questions. And while the kids are quick to answer, or they'll raise their hand, or they'll shout it out, and it'll be something absurd. They don't know. They don't really care. They're excited. The adults barely answer. I have to pry it out of them. Don't make me call on you, Joe. And it's like, it's okay to not know. It's okay to mess up. It's okay. Like, who's really judging, And if someone is judging, then what does that say about what's coming from them? Everyone's projection is an inner self-reflection, is one of the lines from a song of mine. And so Yeah, bringing the childlike is the way. In my spaces that I'm facilitating, I'm moving my body and shaking it in crazy ways. And just last night, I held circle and I was counting down to enter song 1, 2, 3, and I was totally wrong. And of course, we all start laughing, and I'm like, we don't have to be perfect here.
No.
I'm not claiming myself to be a professional by any means. And so by me saying, or messing up rather, it's giving y'all also permission to mess up. I'm not holding a high standard to myself, so therefore we're not holding a high standard to everyone else. And so I really believe in that permission granting in the spaces. So yeah.
That's one of the best things we can do as facilitators or leaders in any setting, right? Is like to show our humanity, to slip up, to call ourselves out. Just
Right.
last night we were in a yoga class, and she did the sequence on one side of the body, and then we went to the other side, and then she got tripped up and was like, yoga teachers need grace too, guys.
That's
And we're
right.
all laughing,
Yep.
and it's just like, yeah, of course,
Yeah.
But I so appreciate that kind of thing, especially from somebody who's in a leadership role.
Right.
Is like, oh yeah, like, don't be so rigid and
Right.
put all this pressure on yourself. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even in like the classroom setting where a kid will ask me a question that's maybe that I don't have the answer to, I love saying, I don't know, because it lets them know it's okay to not know.
Right.
And that, just because I'm an adult doesn't mean I have it all together. So absolutely. Giving grace is key. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how it's as adults, like we would rather be right than to acknowledge, or like we're trying to be right, versus admitting that we don't know.
Mm.
And that's like something, dude, we don't know anything when it comes down to anything. Like, what is all of this? We trip out on what life even is, that anything even exists, that we're even in these bodies being animated by something that we have no idea what the heck
No
is even going
kidding.
on, Like, the
Yep.
only thing that we really know is that we don't know anything. So-
Bars. Rap on it right now.
Yeah, but we know that singing feels good, dancing feels good, watching a sunset feels
Exactly.
good, like the
Yeah.
beauty in the world, like that's what it's all here for. And so
Yeah.
it's amazing that, like it's going into these spaces with the song and the dance and then these festival scenes and meeting all these beautiful, authentically expressed people is just like, this is the juice of life. And I can't
Of
wait to play
life.
with you again. And yeah, hopefully I get to see you at Conscious Growth this
Yeah,
year. And be a
same. Are
part
you
of your
guys?
freaking offering would be so dope.
Yeah, I would love to
Yeah.
have
I
you guys
already
in
was
that
picturing
space.
us like shutting down the booth, and we're like, we're going to Ash's
Yo,
workshop.
let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fun thing about it is that, it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be rapping this offering. It could be song, it could be, musical melodies, it could be a spoken word piece over a beat. It doesn't have to be, doesn't have to rhyme. It's very elementary, and in that anyone can do it. So yeah, I would love to have y'all.
Yeah. Well, what would you say to somebody who's like, getting into this space or wants to share an offering, but it's like, I don't know, like if I'm ready for it, or if I, or something that I have experienced is the imposter syndrome, right? It's like, okay, of like, I'm living it, I'm embodying it, but I'm like, who am I to be the one sharing this? Like, what would you tell someone that's like wanting to step into that, but isn't really sure like what to do?
Right. I think we all deserve to be seen. I think we all have our unique flavor to this worldly soup, and your words or your medicine guaranteed is going to relate to one other person in the space. And I feel like that alone is enough to put yourself into that uncomfortable position, because your words and your medicine might validate that other person's experience. And I have goosebumps thinking about that. who says you have to be hitting the right note? If the message comes across in a way where one other person can feel resonant with, then that's it, right? And so being ready, I think, is a lie, because when will you ever feel ready
Yeah.
until you try? And so trying, I guess, gives you that opportunity to see where you're at and say, "Oh, okay, I did that. It wasn't that bad." Or, it was really scary, but I was held through it. So yeah, but the biggest thing I think is knowing that your message and your words and your medicine is going to resonate with someone else. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
get
And
out there.
something that comes up for me in that is like, I think we underestimate how supportive human beings actually are.
Mm,
They want you to do well as much as you want to do well,
right.
and that's really powerful when, especially when you share like, this is my first time, or like, this is an edge for
Mm,
me, or like you
right.
share that, people are quite graceful in that. They're like,
Totally.
okay, cool. You get that round of applause, just like hyping you
Yeah.
up, and everyone's like pulling for you, and you can feel that in the air. You can feel that in the energy. And it just makes me think of just being at a Unity Church we went to in Bend.
Mm,
There's these gracious people who step up to be the musicians in between different segments of the like the church service. And one of the lead singers, like, he's a blind gentleman and comes up with his service dog. And this
mm,
is his pride and joy. You can like feel he's of
mhm.
service. He's up there. He's like, I have something potent to contribute. And I don't know, he's talented 100%, but I just feel in the air there's this like generosity of spirit that's like,
Mm,
yo, you have the courage to get up there, and
right.
we get to you know see a little bit of ourselves in that, and we're rooting
Right.
for that part of ourselves, right?
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, spoken word spaces where, like a slam poetry night, if you say new shit, people are like immediately, or like, it's my first time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or in dance spaces where, street dance vibe, like the crowd goes crazy at what you're putting out there. And yeah, I agree that humans do want to support other humans. And maybe there's some warped perception of that because of how much time we spend online and how easy it is to, whether it's real people or bots who
Mhm.
are putting out judgy comments. But I think person to person and human
Yep.
is so good, so
Mhm.
kind, and and what's the word I was looking for? Supportive.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
one. So,
Yeah, the perception's a
mhm.
little warped because people hiding behind a keyboard.
Right,
There's no
right.
accountability in the comments and
Exactly.
things like that,
Yeah,
right?
they're probably the ones freaking hurting and probably sad and wishing that they were doing what you're doing,
Exactly.
getting together with people, sharing in song and community and laughter and
Yep.
play, and are probably just
Yeah.
yearning for that. And their hurt inner child
Exactly.
is the
Right.
one that's acting out, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Kill 'em
So
with kindness, baby.
how important are these spaces right now that you get to co-create and facilitate for others?
Oof. Yeah. Oh God, they feel like everything. They feel like such medicine. I mean, it feels like every time I facilitate a circle, someone comes up to me and they're like, "Thank you so much. I haven't sung in 20 years," or,
Mm,
"This is such an edgy thing for me, but I appreciate the safety that you curated in this space." And it's like, whoa, we can be healing lineages, like, especially among women who tend to have this blockage in their throat, and being able to speak up and use their voice feels like this is everything. Um, and of course, men too, right? Like just the ability to express ourselves in silly ways goes far. So how important is it? It feels like the most important thing that I could be doing. um, yeah, that remembrance that, singing is our birthright. We don't
Mhm.
have to be trained singers. We don't have to have studied music theory. This is in our
Yeah.
bones and our blood. It's what our ancestors did. It's what we did to commune. It's what we did to when we were in challenge together. And so Yeah, and it's also regulating. There's studies that show that when people sing together, our heartbeats sync up, which is so cool. And it's, when we're in a stressed state, if we just start humming or toning a little bit, it's gonna make us feel more calm and relaxed. And so who says you gotta be Lizzo? I don't know. Beyonce. I don't know why
One of
I
Ash's
went with
idols.
I don't even, not gonna lie, I don't even listen to Lizzo. That came first.
Amazing.
Not that I wouldn't, but so funny. Yeah, no, you don't have to be Beyonce in order to mess around and find out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Being able to regulate, creating safety in our bodies, and being able to commune together in song is so important. I also think about how song can be used in every life event. It could be you wake up in the morning, hear a song to show gratitude to the day. Song can be used at death experiences, grieving, at the literal moment that someone is passing through that threshold. It could be song before we eat. And it's really just this moment of let's honor this present moment. Let's honor what's happening right now versus just going and flying by. And so I think that's another important element of song and singing and playfulness too. So
Yeah. Well said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really seems that these kinds of gatherings highlight the basics of like what humanity needs through all this chaos. Like it's really coming back home to the land, time in nature, connecting with others, song, dance. Like we need more of that, and we've lost it. We've been disconnected. Like
right.
people shouldn't grow up to be adults and feel shy to participate into some music, improv,
Right. Right.
Like our ancestors, they grew up doing that around the fire,
They're probably
drumming and
getting
dancing.
down.
Get
Yeah.
down. Like after the sun goes down, like what
Loud
else we
woman.
gonna do?
Yeah, just the moon, the full moon, and firelight, and
Yep.
each other.
That's right.
Simple
Right.
living and so much
Mhm.
more rich.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
I'm curious in those spaces, something that's coming to me is, you're a facilitator and you offer these kinds of workshops. What's been a really impactful workshop or offering that you've received in those kinds of spaces that might be different than from what you offer?
Mm. Yeah, I can think about one particularly this past summer at Singing Alive outside of Florence, Oregon. With Lawrence Cole as a facilitator, he is an elder, song carrier, wisdom keeper, grief tender, choir director, and the way he holds circle space blew me open. So before he presents a song, he's offering bits of wisdom or a story that pairs with that song. And I just found myself so entranced listening to him. He's older now, so you have to really like hear and listen because he's a little bit soft-spoken when he's sharing his stories. And so he's got this wisdom that comes in, which you're already like, wow, the song already has a powerful element to it that by the time you're singing it, it's like, oh, okay, I'm really feeling the message that he was offering in that. And then he's also offering these grief ceremonies, which include song. And so he led this, that the event is going to be powerful when the main offering, the main program on a Saturday night is a grief ceremony. So Lawrence is leading this grief ceremony, and we're going through the stages of grief in our small group. And then at the end, he's calling on people to share what's alive in them, maybe a phrase, maybe a word. And he's taking those phrases and he's turning them into this kind of improvisational song. And then we're all singing it together. And it's like, whoa, okay, this is one collective organism where we're all sharing similar feelings, where we can all relate to each other. And it's more than just, okay, we're going to sing this song today. It's like there's depth in it, there's power in it, there's so many emotions within it. So, yeah, I would say that Lauren's circles, anytime I get to be a part of them, are just profoundly impactful, and I aspire to be at that level one day. Yeah, where it's more than just, hey, we're singing this song. It's like, let's get to the feeling behind it.
Yeah.
Let's get to the oomph of the medicine of the song, because it's so easy to go, okay, I'm reading the lyrics,
Right.
Yeah.
da 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 da, or maybe I don't have the lyrics, so now I'm like really focusing on, wait, what were the lyrics? What were the lyrics? What were the lyrics? Instead of this like full on embodied somatic practice. So, yeah,
Yeah.
shout out Lauren Skoll.
Wow. Dude,
Yeah.
I want to experience that too.
Oof, yeah.
That
I believe
sounds
he's
full
based
power.
out of Port Townsend, so
Okay.
he's up in the Northwest. Yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So good.
Yeah, it makes me think of, did you have the chance to drop into Portuguese? I think it's called Music and Medicine, or
The workshop that he led at Conscious
You
Craft?
Are the Music or something, his workshop?
Right. I was adjacent to it, managing Izzy's cacao station. So it was like,
got
I
it.
was getting the energy infused into my body, but in this kind of subconscious way. So no, I wasn't able to. But yeah, tell me about it. How did that feel for y'all?
Well, it reminds me of what you're describing, you know. He obviously, you know, on stage, he plays all these instruments and he's live looping, and it's a whole ceremony in itself. But his
Right.
workshop, he like broke us up into 4 different groups, and he's kind of having the different groups at different moments make different sounds, you know? And he'll
Yep.
have practice, you'll practice, and then he'll get you going. He's like, all right, keep that. And then he'll go to the next group and he like introduce a complementary, but different, like maybe the bass line comes in, you know? And then he's like bringing the levels up, and then he's bringing the levels down, and he's beatboxing in between, and he's just totally playing the whole crowd, and we're in it, and it's just chills. Like it's so primal, you know, to connect in this way, and like your whole body's making the sounds, your whole body's singing, you're stomping your feet, like that was mind-blowing for me to experience, and such a potent.
It's like being the conductor of the divine. Like he's just like conducting this thing that's coming alive, and it's changing and shape-shifting and evolving and expanding and contracting and all of the things. And then they brought in the elder at the end too, which brought in that touching on the emotional piece, right? Like the power and potency of that, and the prayer, and just it being a whole living prayer, you know. And that's really what Parangi he's emanated that from the first time I ever saw him too, getting didgeridooed on in in Portland. Like the first time I went and saw him and was by myself at the show and just like got freaking blasted, dude. I was just like, oh my God, the vibrations, right? I mean, speaking of the vibrations, like that's it, you know. Even if you don't have your hearing, like just going to something like that and feeling it, like that's the medicine right there, is a vibration.
Right.
And it hits, it's on a whole other level in those spaces when people come together and share their vibration.
Right. Share their vibration. Exactly. The flavor in the soup, baby. Exactly. Woo!
Yeah. Well,
And the
speaking
beauty
of sharing any vibrations, do you have anything you would like to share live in action?
Nice transition there.
Smooth transition. Nice.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can share a poem. Let's see if it comes to me. I might have to pull up the old device just as a little backup because it's been a second. But this poem is one about gratitude. And I was feeling really caught in the motions and wasn't feeling super stoked on life at the time when I wrote it. It goes, I woke up this morning, scrolled for about 10, rolled over and got out of bed, and like clockwork went to pee, and believe me when I say that the face in the mirror didn't feel like me. Floor creaked, sun coming up above the window. Let me backtrack. I'm gonna put this here, because I can't recall it from my head anymore. It's been over a year. Okay. Let me see if I can set it here.
Lick your lips one more time, though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Perfect. There you go. We're ready.
Cute. Okay. I woke up this morning, scrolled for about 10, rolled over, got out of bed, and like clockwork went to pee, and believe me when I say that the face in the mirror didn't feel like me. Floor creaked, sun coming up above the kitchen sink, no time to think, just eat, change, and get shoes on my feet. I'm out the door, not a word yet spoken, till I turn on the car to the song that's... Till I turn on the car and sing a song. Oh! I gotta start over. I'm gonna stand up.
Here we go.
Run it
Yep,
back.
stand up, baby. Move it. Shake it out. Oh.
Yes.
This is it. This
This
is
is
the
it.
performance right here.
All right. Thanks, y'all, for giving me grace. See, we don't have to be
No
perfect
worries.
around here.
Make sure to project so we can catch it in the mic.
Here we
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Or that, or
Yeah,
that.
Hold it.
Hey.
Dance with it.
Action.
Action.
I woke up this morning, scrolled for about 10, rolled over, got out of bed, and like clockwork went to pee, and believe me when I say that the face in the mirror didn't feel like me. Floor creaked, sun coming up above the kitchen sink, no time to think, just eat, change, and get shoes on my feet. I'm out the door, not a word yet spoken, till I turn on the car and sing along to the song that's been on a million times before. I'm hoping if I change stations, they'll play something different, so I stay patient through the commercials till I jerk, nearly slamming the button, feeling belligerent. In silence now thinking about work. For tomorrow, as it's today, still sitting in the driveway, check my mirrors back out and head on my way. I can't say what was going through my head that day. The monotony was driving me till I felt feelings of pain. They say to stay grateful in the everyday. Maybe I can use my words, make a list, and aloud just say that today I'm grateful to have woken up, to have food in my belly, and to see the sun come up. That my body works, I got on my favorite shirt, and how cool is it that music plays? Over the radio, I think how many of us are tapping our feet to the same beat, and on that same note, the rate of our collective heartbeat. I'm grateful to see. Smile lines in the mirror reflecting back at me. How our earth continues to rotate, giving us night and day, seasonal shifts that make you feel a type of way. I'm grateful to find pockets of shade, relief on a sunny day, the way kids laugh when they play through the foray. I'm grateful that I can read, write, think freely, and sow seeds, to have a bed and a roof over me. I'm grateful for the women who complement each other and the men who hold one another, for my partners in life whose cuddles don't compare to any other. Just the mere fact that food grows from the earth, how I can feel the spectrum of emotions like joy and hurt. And just like that, my perspective shifts from reflective to intended. I'm now starting my day grateful for this attention, this intention. What was once apprehension is now a life lesson, and this, I highly recommend it. Thank you.
Woo! Snaps. Dude, that gave me full chills, homie.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you for
I think so
inviting
many,
me to that.
So many will relate. The monotony, the mundane, and
Yeah.
chasing novelty constantly, especially
Right.
like travelers. I mean, you've done a lot of travel. We've done a lot of travel. It's like the next adventure, but when
Yeah.
you're rooted into a routine over some time, it's like, how can we find the cracks and crevices of magic that
Right.
exist in the everyday mundane, and
Absolutely.
that
Yeah, the
shift of
last couple.
perspective can change it all.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I feel like gratitude goes so far, as like cliche and cheesy as that is. I mean, yeah, the last couple of days I've woken up and I've gone and sat in the sun and just in my head listed off, my gratitudes for the day. And it's been really helpful because recently I've been definitely caught in that morning phone loop.
Mhm.
And I know it doesn't set me up for success, but getting out in the sun and making my gratitude list, I think, does alter my literal brain chemistry. So, yeah, trying our best out here, fam.
Yeah, the odds are stacked against us in
Yep.
many ways, and I mean, I noticed the same thing. I was on a walk this morning, and it was the same thing. Just appreciating the sunshine and staring at the trees and having this time to just be by myself and walk and listen to a book I'm excited about right now, and yeah, just the perfect temperature and the breeze, like just feeling all of it, trying to sink into the senses even deeper is so
Yeah.
different than starting in tech, hunched over the laptop or or over the phone. And
Right.
I literally think the algorithm scrolling thing like puts us in a hypnotic state. I've never said this out loud, but I'm like, I wonder if this literally puts us in hypnosis. And then,
Well, it
you know,
kind of does. I mean, trying to talk to someone that's in a scroll hole is not it.
yeah.
Like, you literally can't get through to them. You're like, hello,
Whoa.
hi.
Yeah,
And you can say
right.
whatever the hell. And then you have to say something ridiculous for them to actually,
Mhm.
what?
Right.
Break out of it. It's real.
That's real.
So,
Yep. Yeah.
yeah.
And we're not alone in it, no
No.
judgment, no shame. It's like, yeah, I'm just as bad as the next person here, they know how to
Yeah.
get me.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
we
yeah.
were blessed to be in the generation where we weren't fully raised with it,
Right.
so
Yeah.
we kind of got to experience what life was like before.
Yes.
And so maybe have a
Yep.
little bit, it might be a little bit easier for us to, if we really set boundaries with it and remember, like, oh yeah, playing outside, going and doing things, being off our phones, like how good that
Right.
is. Like, and that was a podcast I was listening to yesterday too, is relating, the guy who's on there is really relating to his grandfather who was so bored but had the most rich life. Like, we don't get bored anymore, and
Yeah.
how like we need
Right.
to be bored, but we're constantly being shown information. We don't allow ourselves that. And they did an experiment where they the students that were being researched had to sit for like 15 minutes doing absolutely nothing. But they had this like device in their hand that they could shock themselves and elicit pain. And so the study was showing, would they rather be bored or feel pain? And so I forget the numbers exactly on it, but
Oh no.
there was a good number of women that shocked themselves, and then it was an even higher percent of the men that shocked themselves that we would rather feel pain than just be bored and be in beingness. So yeah, it's important to
Fascinating.
allow ourselves to be bored.
Right. 100% agree. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even we could, go out. Yeah. I don't know what I was going to say really, but I agree. It's like it almost takes scheduling in our calendar, go outside, do
time.
nothing,
Yeah.
versus that being the majority. Granted, obviously we have responsibilities as adults now, but yeah, it's like it really takes that intention now to go, all right, let's put in our planner nothing right now.
Yeah.
Set an
And even
alarm.
then, yeah.
To go do nothing.
Yeah, like, whoa. I mean, yeah, even I'll go out for a walk in the woods and I'm like, well, maybe I should bring my journal. Maybe I should bring my ukulele. Maybe I'll write a song. And it's like, okay, like that's good. That's, even like that's still healthy, good medicine, but that's still doing.
Yeah.
And can I just not? So, yeah, there's this term that I keep seeing, ironically, online about raw dogging life, where you just don't use your phone for whatever, an hour, 2, 3, 4. And so you just go about life, raw dogging it.
Yeah, get
We'll
lost,
do
dude.
We go raw dog life for an hour.
Obviously, it has a different connotation from maybe what we know it, but I kind of like it.
Let's go.
I like it. I like it. We get to create the meaning, you know?
Yeah, add a little humor to this thing that's kind of heavy. So
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'd love to ask you the final question before we start to wrap, pun intended.
Here we go. Are we gonna freestyle together? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you have to freestyle your response to this.
Oh yeah.
Okay, word.
Just kidding.
If you want, but no pressure.
What do you believe makes up a thriving life?
So I was reading this question that you had sent last night in bed, and I was really pondering it. I was thinking about it again this morning, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna roll with it, whatever comes in the moment. A thriving life to me feels like one that is one where you're spending your time and you're doing the things that you love that light you up. More time spent lighting you up than dimming you. A thriving life to me means healthy body, healthy mind, healthy relationships. A thriving life to me means being able to find yourself engaged in community. For me, that means farmers markets. The farmers market here is full of community members who are there to support each other and show up for one another. Cooper's family, who I was mentioning earlier in the podcast, has a farm stand at the market. And oftentimes, several of us friends go at the end to help them pack up. And to me, that feels like a thriving life because we're there to support each other. We're not gaining anything besides, communal friendship. Being able to receive sunlight every day, being able to have access to clean drinking water, to clean food, and a dialogue in the mind that is healthy. Being able to have or to make money in a way that feels alive and resonant with your soul purpose. Obviously, that's not always the case for a lot of people. But I think that we can make small moves to get there. Granted, I don't have kids and a whole family to take care of, so my situation's different, and I acknowledge my privilege in that. But, if you like working with kids, if you like working with people. So, yeah, a thriving life to me means being in resonance with what your soul wants, ultimately. And I'm still trying to figure that out. And so maybe that's why I'm kind of struggling and hesitant to answer because, there are days where I'm like, I'm not thriving right now. I didn't think I would be returning to Flagstaff, but I'm here because I needed to kind of just chill out and integrate and grieve for a little bit. And so, parts of me wants to be other places. Parts of me doesn't want to be working the jobs that I want to be working. Parts of me wants to be on the road again. And so, yeah, trying to figure out what thriving means is still something I'm questioning. But coming back to that gratitude aspect, I think is important. So I don't really know how to close out my statement because I'm still trying to figure it out. Yeah.
And we all are,
Yeah. And it's not a constant state, right?
Right.
I like that you touched on that because it's the human experience. It's the ebbs and the flows. We're not always high. We need the lows to know the high and the high to know the lows and,
Yeah.
that whole polarity thing.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, it's something that we can experience and know in one day, in one moment, and then the next it's gone, but we know that we've experienced it before, right? And that
Right.
it will be there again
Yeah.
when it's right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so much of what I heard in your share is like doing our best to stay authentic to ourselves and true to ourselves
Right.
in all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, from what I've heard and from what I've seen, you're doing that. So acknowledging you big time for living as authentically as you can
Thank
in
you,
this
Matt.
life, because it's rare. There's so
Yeah.
much fakeness out there and acting and pretending,
Right.
and it's scary to be authentic, and it takes courage, and it's a refining process as well.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah. Thanks.
big
What do you
exhale.
so what do you do for a living? I try my best.
Just how you do my best.
I get
we
it.
had a guy on the podcast, a reverend from the Unity Church in Bend, and if you haven't heard that pod, check it out. You'll love it. He
Yeah.
dropped so
Cool.
many poems on there. He's a
Aw.
poet and profoundly wise gentleman.
Mm.
But he's just like, we're just like in awe at everything he's sharing and offering and his talks at church, and we're like, so authentic and so rich with story from his own life and really impact people. And he's just like, I'm just a overwhelmed, stressed out dad,
Oh.
And we're like, what? There's
That
so much more than that, bro.
I know, but it's like
Aw.
I'm just a normal dude. I'm just a human
Right.
here. It's like we don't need to put people on pedestals.
Right.
Like, it's like
Right.
we're all just walking around, do.
Do.
It's
Swimming in the soup, as you called it, or
That's
yeah,
right,
creating the
baby.
soup together. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
exactly.
love the soup
Our own
metaphors.
flavor.
well, why don't you tell everybody how they can get connected with you? Any offerings you have coming up if they want to drop into some of your workshops or work?
Yeah, so you can find more about me and my offerings at ashleyrayplays.com, ASHLEYRAE. I'm sure it'll be linked below. So ashleyRayPlays.com. You can also find me on Instagram at ashleyRayPlays. And I'm hoping to offer another circle here, song circle, in Flagstaff, Northern Arizona next month, so mid-June sometime roughly. And then we'll see, we'll hear back from Conscious Growth within the next couple of days. Hopefully we'll offer a freestyle circle then. But in the meantime, we're just kind of flowing with it, taking it as it comes. But yeah, I offer song and vocal improv circles, freestyle circles, poetry circles, and then women's circles as well as a certified fertility educator. So, and, I also do performance art. So whatever you want. If you want me to come in as a puppeteer, I can do that. If you want me to come in as a, brat.
Hype man, hype woman.
Yeah.
Like I just hype you up at your wedding.
Dude, I want to see the puppeteering. I want to hire you for something.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you. And thank you so much for having me, y'all, and for reaching out. It really means a lot that you thought of me, and what an honor to be in this space. This is my first podcast ever. And
Oh,
so,
let's go.
yeah,
Such a
for
natural.
y'all to-
I know.
Thanks.
Well,
Yeah, for y'all to just like see me and recognize me, and yeah, it means a lot, especially considering that we've only interacted in person one time. So thank you so much for having me and for taking the time to get to know me.
oh,
Yeah.
well, thanks for saying yes and being down for it.
Yeah. And thank you
Yeah.
for what you're doing for our community, like just spreading this wisdom and this beautiful hope in humanity and this thriving lifestyle. And I really am so inspired by how y'all curate your life and hold yourselves, and the medicine that you both have individually and together as a unit, and just you were speaking to the caliber of people you want to put yourself around. Y'all are it. So I hope that we can soon be in person again and really connect on a deeper level and explore this friendship.
Aw. Yay.
Bless you.
All in due time. It is already done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Flow. All right.
Okay, y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in to another amazing episode, and stay tuned for the next one.
All right.
All right.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.